So remember last video I was talking about natural attachments and fructus industrials and what all that means, and then we came to a situation where we got these crops and we want to walk off the lot with them, but there is another option besides letting them be part of the property or you taking them. What's up, ladies and gents in Cyberland? Coming back to another educational video in the real estate world. So, as I said, you had these plants that you were utilizing them to make good money off of them when you were taking the fruits to a farmer's market. But now you're selling your property and you had the option of leaving them there because they're part of the property now. They're natural attachments, or putting the contract, you're taking it with them. But here's another thing you can do. And this is what we call emblements. So, what you can do is you can state that you could have a contract with the owners, the new owners, that you're still going to utilize those crops or those plants moving forward. You're going to those are still considered your personal property, and that's it. You're not gonna remove them, and you're not gonna relinquish them to the new owners. Now, this can work and it cannot work. It really depends on who owns the property now and how they see it. If it's an acre of land, and it's not literally on next to the house, I could see it working because that person can come anytime and they're not infringing on you as the owners. But at the same time, who the hell wants somebody on their property randomly collecting or picking up their stuff, their crops? And if there's a contract stated, then they can do that. But at the same time, do you want to deal with that? But then also the other thing is, the seller, if they have enough buyers, they can go, they have the power in their hands to where any buyer who wants the property is going to go along with it. So it's really a touchy situation. Personally, I would say if you're a buyer, and unless that home has to be yours, I would go to the next home. Because at first it sounds great, but over time, that gets annoying. Where somebody has to come into your driveway or come onto your land to get their crops, and you're not being compensated for it unless it's stated in the contract. If it's stated in the contract, it's a little different, but you're not being compensated, and they just show up when they feel the need to, or when they're supposed to. The point is, they're showing up and you may not want them to keep showing up. Well, you got to deal with it. And if you try to take it to court, the judge can literally have to honor the implement and what was stated. You can't get around it. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, unless it's like lots of acres of land, like Yellowstone kind of thing, do you want to deal with that? And is the house worth that much to you where you have to now start dealing with that? And here's the other thing. That implement can be passed down to another person. So that can start going on for hundreds of years. So that person that had the implement with you passes away, but they leave it to somebody else who still can utilize and utilize the implement and still keep coming on your land and, you know, cultivating the crops, and you got to deal with it. So these are things you need to be aware of whenever you come across land that might have those things, because some people, they have to sell the property, but they're not going to give up the moneymaker that they're getting from the crops. And let's not forget having to water those crops, who's paying for it. All those things come into factor, or they you need to be aware of that. So, and then, you know, it could get really complicated really fast. It's not always so simple like, oh, I'm just picking roses or something. It can turn into an irritating situation for you as a homeowner. So you gotta choose wisely when you're dealing with that, as I would say. So that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one.